everyone, it's April here, and in today's video I'm going to show you my process for making this Jill Valentine custom doll. Now, when I first got this order, the plan was to use a previously loved doll, but honestly by the time I bought a used Marie Grace face mold, there wasn't much of a price difference. And I liked the lighter skin tone for her, so I ended up buying new from Amazon, so at least I would get the free shipping. I still think it's pretty ridiculous that if you buy a doll from American Girl, you don't get free shipping. Once I got the new doll, it was time to start taking her apart. I use a non-chemical method for removing the wig, but the center was still firmly stuck, so I decided to leave it until after I heated up the head for removing the eyes. And that worked very well for softening the glue, making it easy to peel the wig off the rest of the way. I am removing her eyes to give her custom Umbrella Corporation eyes. For this process, once the eyes are removed from the head, I start taking them apart, removing the weight on the back of the eye to get better access. I use a hairdryer on high heat to warm up the outside of the eye and a pick to pull the paint up off the backside. If you are lucky, it can come up in one large chunk, but I am generally not that lucky. So this part of the process is tedious at best. Once the old paint is gone, I started the repainting process using a 4mm brush. I start with the pupil using a hairdryer on medium heat to help dry the layers in between applications. In this case, I dabbed the edges of the irises with a dark blue and then started adding my red sections. I added a bit more dark blue around the pupil and where the light blue sections will be. Then I added the light blue. Once everything was dry, I added a black coating on everything that I painted, and once it was dry, I added a white coat of paint over everything. Then once all of that was dry, I re-glued the weight down using gel super glue. I reassembled the eye, reheated the head, and inserted the eye into the head. For her face up, I removed the lower lashes and eyebrows. I painted the eyebrows using a 4mm brush, but I did forget to film it. If you can even call it that now, since no film was used for any part of this video, I might have just really dated myself, but I didn't record it. I gave her more upper lashes using a black watered down paint and a 4mm brush. I will say that discovering these smaller brushes has really changed the way that I do face-ups. I rarely use watercolor pencils now, and once I get more practice, I will share any helpful techniques that I have learned. Once her face was sealed and dried, I proceeded to glue down her new wig. This wig came from Dallas Doll Co. and is called Candlelight. As for Jill Valentine's firearms, I ordered these from Temu, and after snapping a couple pieces in place, they were ready to go. As for the scarab on her chest, this thing was my arch nemesis, and honestly, I thought the hardest part of this project was going to be her eyes, and boy was I wrong. My first plan was using parts from this spider ring that I got from Temu, but I couldn't get the legs to adhere to the body well enough. I thought I had it, and then after attaching it to her chest, the legs started coming loose. I tried soldering them, but I could not get the solder to stick either. In the meantime, I sewed together her outfit using a twin needle for the first time, which was awesome, by the way, until I bent my needle, but I highly recommend it overall. Okay, so this next part might have been my favorite part of the whole project. I made her a custom box cover using black poster board. I used a doll box top from another doll to lay it over the top of the poster board and mark all of my lines. Then I used a bowl to make the window circle at the top of the box and taped some clear plastic over it. Then I printed a grunge pattern onto some white and red printer paper. I cut out 4 red and 4 white triangulish shapes and pasted them into place to look like the Umbrella Corporation logo. Later, I designed her a description for the box and pasted it into place as well. With the design complete, I glued down the flaps of the box topper, holding them in place with clothespins until the glue was dry. So after that, I decided to revisit the making of the scarab by making a mold in clay and using red hot glue to fill that mold and adding wire for the legs. But I ultimately decided that that looked like crap, and while brainstorming on what to do next, I made the leg holsters for her firearms, and the holsters actually hook onto her leggings to prevent them from slipping. And then it was back to the scarab. I got another red jewel for the body of the scarab, this time an oval one. To begin with, I hot glued some wire legs to the back of it, and that seemed to work until one of the wires broke while I was trying to attach it. So I got some 16 gauge beading wire this time, gluing them down with E6000 glue, and finally, success! Yes! I attached the legs to the body by pulling the ends of the wire into the cloth and adding an earring end on the wire backing before bending it to the side. After that, I restuffed the bit of stuffing I removed to do that and reattached her head using a zip tie. I sewed the back of her neck together, and with that, I was finally done! Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have an adorable day.